Konnichiwa, good afternoon, Molweni, to all our participants and followers of this session of the Science Agora 2022. Before I start, I'd just like to indicate that there is simultaneous interpretation services available. So please just select the language of Japanese or English from the globe symbol on your screen. I'm Khalid Jepi. I'm the Minister Counselor at the South African Embassy in Tokyo, Japan. And I want to take this opportunity to welcome each and everyone to this session today. This workshop in particular has been in our planning for some time, and we are delighted to be partnering with JST and our colleagues from UNIDO and the Japan Interdisciplinary High School Research Project on putting the big question of South Africa waste management and the countermeasures for ocean plastic pollution. This session obviously builds on the very good relationship which we have with Japan, and it comes on the backdrop of a visit a few weeks ago that we had from Minister Nzimande and Minister Pando to Japan. So I think it builds on the excellent relations that we are building with Japan as well. But let me express my appreciation to Naomi Nishu from UNIDO, who is going to be giving us our keynote lecture, and the various students from the Interdisciplinary High School Project, and to our very own Almaz and Beatrice for joining us in this session this morning, your time, of course. I've been told that as the welcoming remarks is not meant to be long, I want to keep it short, but I would, however, wish to raise a couple of key questions to our panelists this morning and this afternoon in Japan. And so the questions that I have for the young volunteers, for the young activists, for the people engaged in this area, where should we be starting the education about plastic pollution management? Should it be at high school or should it be much earlier? How can we interest more and involve more students actively to participate in global problems such as this? How can we work with the private sector and the informal sector to curb plastic waste? Can we organize environmental cleanup exercises at our colleges, in our schools, in our areas? And how can we use social media more effectively to promote our cause? And then the last question that I want to put to our panelists as they engage, and I know they have developed their own speaking points on this topic, is the 3 R's enough? Reduce, reuse, recycle? Or do we need to develop new ideas about the whole question of ocean pollution? And so I want to leave that over to our panelists and invite also our audience to engage in asking questions. You can either put up your virtual hand or you can put it in the chat box. But I would like some interaction with the various panelists. So I want to leave this remarks then and get our moderator for this morning session, Yuta, to take us through the next steps of the program. Thank you very much and welcome to everyone once again. Over to you, Yuta.
Hello, everyone. First of all, I want to say thank you for such a great opportunity to make a speech, to have a discussion. As a young people, we would like to talk a lot about a plastic thing and environmental stuff. And we're so honored. Thank you so much. And first of all, we would like to introduce the speaker for today. So I want each speaker to introduce yourself, the name of yours, and where you're from, like university, high school. And I want to know what you're interested in, what kind of research you're working on. So I want Miss Kobayashi to start the introduction.
Hello everyone, I'm Riko Kobayashi. I'm the student from Keio University, which is located in Japan, Tokyo. I personally interested in sociology and I studied it at university, but on the other hand, I'm work in IHRP, Interdisciplinary High School Research Program now. Nice to meet you.
Thank you. So, Mr. Mizoguchi.
Hello everyone, I'm honored to have the opportunity to speak in front of many people today. And I live in Tokyo, Japan, and my school is Shiba High School. Thank you for very much. Yeah.
Thank you. So, Mr. Ando, please.
Hello everyone, I'm Haruya Ando from Nikkei Kebigo High School in Tokyo. I'm familiar with Japanese castles and studying urban planning. I'm grateful to be participating in this session, and I'm looking forward to discuss about solution of ocean plastic pollution. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Itagaki.
Hi, my name is Nina Itagaki, and I'm in the second grade of Waseda Saga High School, which is located in Saga in Japan. And I'm interested in cognitive science. I'm research about it for 5 years. So I'm really looking forward to participating in this talk session. Thank you.
Thank you. Ms. Almos, please.
Hello everyone, I'm Almaz Mudali. I'm a student from Rodin School in South Africa. I'm a youth climate activist and I was recently named the best high school researcher in South Africa for my research on agriculture.
Thank you. And last but not the least, Mr. Beatrice. Miss Beatrice, sorry.
Hi everyone, my name is Beatrice Wharton-Hood. I am from Johannesburg, South Africa, but I'm actually currently studying at Trinity College, Dublin. And I'm interested in engineering, hence why I'm studying engineering at Trinity College. And I'm really passionate about sustainability and climate change. And I'm looking forward to using my degree to creating more sustainable economies and more sustainable processes. And I just would like to say a huge thank you for being part of this opportunity. And I'm really looking forward to the discussions that we're about to have.
Okay, thank you everyone for the introduction. Now we're going to move to the next session, which is report from Generation Z. We're going to have 7 speakers. Each speaker have 5 minutes to talk about their research or the thing they're interested in. Then I would like to start from Ms. Riko Kobayashi. Can you start?
Thank you. So I will present in Japanese. はい、これから5分間お時間をいただいているので、IHRP という今回参加している私たちのプログラム、そして NPO の活動についてこれからご報告していきたいと思います。よろしくお願いします。まず今回の大きなテーマでもあるプラスチック問題、海洋プラスチック問題について考えてみたいと思います。私たちはこの海洋プラスチック問題のようなもうすごく現在いろんな状況に対して著しい影響を与えている環境問題について解決しようと思ったときに、例えば海洋プラ問題でしたら、それがどういうふうに魚に影響するのかの生態系の問題、そしてそれがそもそもプラスチックがどこから来て、どういうふうなルートで作られているのかというその科学だったり、あるいはその川の治水の問題、そしてその水の流れなど、さまざまな分野を横断して社会問題というのはそう成立していると思います。そこで私たちは IHRP として何をしていきたいかというふうに考えていると言いますと、 現在、そして今までの課外活動では、どうしても文系と理系が分かれてしまうという問題点がありました。文系の生徒は、例えば政策提言だけを、理系の生徒は研究だけというふうに、日本では文系か理系かを選択しなければならないので、どうしても分野を横断した形での社会問題に向き合うという状況が作られにくかったのではないかと感じております。そのため IHRP では、さまざまな興味を持つ分離さまざまな学生を集めて、共に解決に向けて一緒に研究を行っていくことによって、その社会問題に対してより異分野融合というのを私たちがキーワードにしているんですけれども、よりさまざまな目線で社会問題に向き合うことで解決に近づけるのではないかと考えております。そして私たちは2020年に実は海洋プラ問題を解決するのは君だというプログラムを主催いたしました。ここでは100人の全国各地の高校生が集まりまして、それぞれその日本の海洋プラスチック問題についてどのような形で解決ができるかというアクションプランについて考えました。例えば、海洋ゴミを回収するロボットの開発であったりだとか、あるいはそのエシカル消費を促進するためのアプリの開発、また、コインランドリーにおいてその洗濯するときに排出されるマイクロプラスチックを回収する方法などを提案したグループもございました。そして、この海洋プラ問題を解決するのは君だというプログラムを通じて、サステナブルブランド国際会議という日本の会議に登壇させていただいて、視聴者のランキングであったりだとか、満足度のランキングでも高評価をいただき、高校生の意見が社会において必要とされているのではないかということを実感することができました。そして今年も IHRP はプログラムを主催しております。全国各地の高校生が集って、その異分野融合型のそれぞれのテーマを持って、異分野融合型の研究に取り組めるようなプログラムになっております。このプログラムでは、研究費の提供だったりとか、研究室への配属、またワークショップ、メンタリングなど、さまざまな形で、支援を私たちが行っています。このプログラムに参加している高校生からの発表が後ほどお話しするものになります。今年の参加者も全国各地から参加しておりまして、首都圏が半数なんですけれども、首都圏以外、北海道だったり、茨城だったり、福岡だったり、全国の各地から可能な限りその地方格差が少なくした形でプログラムを開催できるように、私たちもこの部分を意識して進めています。プログラムの活動自体はこのような形で行っていて、15名ほどの高校生が普段はオンラインで1年間かけて活動しているのですが、夏に一緒にキャンプという形で対面で開催したプログラムの様子です。みんなでその未来ビジョンを考えたりだとか、企業の方をお招きしてワークショップを通じて、さまざまな社会問題だったり、実際にその人を巻き込む方法など、さまざまな側面から学んでいきました。私たちは今後も継続してプログラムを展開していく予定です。そして、このプログラムを支援してくださる方も継続的に募集しております。もし今回のプレゼンテーションを聞いて興味を持ってくださる方がいらしたら、ぜひ IHRP について調べたりフォローしていただけると嬉しいです。このプログラムに参加している高校生からの発表をぜひ楽しみにお願いいたします。以上です。
Okay, thank you, Ms. Kobayashi, for a wonderful speech. So she introduced our organization and our program. And from now on, we're going to have 3 speakers from our program. They have a study working on for the program. So they're going to explain what they're interested in, what they work as a program. So first of all, I would like to introduce Miss Ando, sorry. So please start.
Hello everyone, I'm Harry Ando from Nikkei Kebuku High School Grade 11th. I'm going to present about my activities in IHRP and research content. Here is a table of contents of presentation. I'm going to present the following 4 points. activities in the laboratory, and research content, today's discussion points, and last one is my dream. First of all, activities in the laboratory. I belong to 2 laboratories at Tohoku and Tsukuba University, and I learned many about hydrology and urban planning. In Tohoku University, I made an urban proposal in the Tsugarushi area of Miracle City. During session, I learned in urban planning, you should deal with nature as a noun rather than adjective. That always remains with me during research activities. In Tsukuba University, I learned basin management, especially benefit of groundwater and natural conservation in Kumamoto. From this, I realized that cities adapting to the natural environment is important. Second, here is my research theme. I researched about the recommended maximum urban population density in developing countries to fit to the natural environment. In the future, it is estimated that urban population will be increasing rapidly, so urban planning has enormous potential. As well as this, global warming is getting worse. Therefore, I think urban planning adapting to the natural environment has an important role in the world. I researched about 2 types of theses. First one is water transportation and supply of Tokugawa shogunate as a supplementary explanation of research meaning. The second main point of research, recommended urban population density in terms of respiratory infection and the relationship between future climate and agricultural product. I have finished research about water transportation and supply of Tokugawa shogunate, and I found out the reason that Edo could become largest city in the world was that people have awareness of living in harmony with nature in Edo era. Therefore, I proved the reason that urban planning should be adjusted to the limitation of nature. My undergoing research is related to the recommended urban population density in terms of respiratory infection. Mr. Watanabe at Yamagata University cooperated for this research object. I'm working on calculation of infection patients, and I make standards for each country. The standard is that the number of patients divided by population. In the same country area in which have water supply and sanitary facilities, I want to be able to apply the same sanitary and water supply standards that metropolitan areas have in areas outside of the metropolitan areas. After this research finished, I researched about relationship between future climate and agricultural product in order to calculate the number of people who can live per unit for without food input. I expect the research result could show proof to things. First, relationship between respiratory infection patients and population density. Second, relationship between climate change and agricultural product. In the end, calculation of limitation of population density considering from food product and public health. My research goal is making a proposal on population density adapting to natural environment. I make a social announcement in the web or social media in Japanese and English, and I would like to contribute preventing food shortage beforehand and adapting to the public health. That concludes the research part of my presentation. Today, I would like to discuss about ocean plastic pollution countermeasures in urban planning. Lastly, I introduce my dream. I would like to make cities and societies which are in harmony with nature and multicultural in the future. That concludes my presentation for today. Thank you for your listening.
Thank you for the wonderful speech, Mr. Ando. Now we're gonna move to the next speaker, who is Mr. Mizaguchi. Can you start for now, please?
Okay. Okay. Hello, everyone. Now I think we'll begin now. Again, my name is Genki Mizuguchi. I will talk about 2 topics. Firstly, I'll inform the possibility of using microorganisms as a countermeasure against pollution caused by flooding. Secondly, I'll mention research and technology development aimed at utilizing microbial functions and my research's overview. Here is my question. How many floods have occurred in Japan? According to Ministry of Land, Infrastructure, Transport, and Tourism, approximately 97% of municipalities experienced flooding in the past 10 years. This is a report from IPCC AR6. The image shows that river flooding mostly increases in various nations. Climate changes cause increases of flooding. As a result, they disturb soil ecosystems and increase marine debris due to severe flooding. Especially, I'll focus on the solution to first point. One solution to tackle the issue of environment pollution, which uses microorganisms, is bioremediation. Bioremediation includes three processes: biostimulation, bioaugmentation, and phytoremediation. Biostimulation mainly focuses to activate indigenous microorganisms. Bioaugmentation aims at external microorganisms in soil. And as a right repeater, phytoremediation is based on natural plants' purification ability. The advantages of this method is being possible to keep costs low, to remediate large contaminated areas, and requiring less energy than other ways. However, bioremediation has also disadvantages at present. I believe we'll be able to overcome these difficulties by developing biological researches in the future. In this part, I want to inform my research. My research purpose is creating new materials using accessible and familiar microorganisms. In addition to this, I want to utilize new medicine discovery and sustainable energy generation. To achieve these my research objectives, I have been researching tardigrades, which is soil microorganisms. Tardigrades are very tiny microorganisms in soil and moss. Their most impressive feature is cryptobiosis. When their body hydrates, their vital condition like other animals thrive. In contrast, when they face dry condition, they are able to stop all metabolic functions of the body until they hydrate next time, which is called as cryptobiosis or tan-shape. Tardigrades can survive in these extreme situations by cryptobiosis. Now, I want to introduce recent feature discoveries. Tardigrades' novel heat-soluble protein families, such as CAS, SAS, MARS, and REAR, are attracted. This damage suppressor protein, which will radiation tolerance for tardigrades, is also featured. Realistically, most of their ecology are still unknown. I always take above three procedures and observe tardigrades by microscope. The following three pictures show three kinds of tardigrades. In 1 cubic centimeters, there can be over 200 tardigrades in one area, but sometimes there are no tardigrades. It depends on most habitat environment. Therefore, I have been thinking with the importance of researching for microbial communities. To monitor ecosystem health, I think it is very important to analyze polar habitat characteristics and interactions with the microorganisms from biological perspectives. So I have been researching this with the support from IHRP, Hiroshima University, and the University of Tokyo. Due to the tardigrades and soil microorganisms research, it can be possible to develop materials from microorganisms, maintain microbial systems, and accelerate development of products using biodegradable plastics. For instance, new type of materials for medical will be read. Additionally, identification of bioindicators for contamination or microflora monitoring can be possible. Finally, I want to mention three challenges in the field of microbiology. First one is spreading social acceptance of using microorganisms in the environment. It is important to open academic findings and resources for everyone and to increase the budget and researches for fundamental research. Second one is comprehensive analysis of microbial ecology, including its habit. By sequencing environmental DNA, we can estimate what species and abundance of organisms exist in the environment. And third one is formulating bioindicators and sharing information at the global level. That is for all. Thank you for coming today.
Thank you for the thought-provoking speech and a wonderful speech. Now we're going to move to the next speaker, which is Miss Itagaki. Can you start the speech now?
Hi, my name is Itagaki. I'm in the second grade of Waseda Saga High School. My high school is located at the foot of Karatsu Castle. I've been researching about cognitive science for 5 years, but in this program, I research about global environmental change getting closer to our daily lives. In the Kyushu region where our school is located, the damage caused by heavy rain has been expanding in recent years. A large-scale debris flow disaster occurred, heavy rain in northern Kyushu in July 2017. In the debris flow disaster in the Asakura region, my relatives were also affected and saved their lives, but lost all their homes and belongings. A lot of damage is happening every year with massive debris flows and river flooding. A research team led by the Meteorological Research Institute of the Japan Meteorological Agency and the University of Tokyo announced in 2020 that the probability of experiencing heavy rain in Kyushu in 2017 has increased by 1.5 times due to the impact of global warming. It is said that the increase in the amount of water vapor contained in the atmosphere due to the rise in sea temperature accompanying global warming has increased the probability of heavy rainfall. I met people who lost their families or lost their livelihood in debris flow. My aim to conduct research to prevent global warming, which causes debris flows. In the future, we'd like to develop multi-layer film that capture carbon dioxide and develop new biofuels. But my high school doesn't have any research facilities at all, so I'm currently attending the IHRP to predict the occurrence of debris flow disaster. In my research, I investigated the rainfall and slope collapse situation from the disaster report. I reproduced the soil composition from the disaster report and created a soil tower. I investigated the rainfall and slope collapse situation from the disaster report. I conducted the sediment model experiment to investigate how much rainfall and time the various soil decayed. It showed that the slope collapse time prediction formula calculated by moisture content ratio for each soil formulation. My real challenge is to achieve the freedom to continue living where people choose. This is the end of my presentation. Thank you for listening.
Thank you for the wonderful speech. From now on, we're gonna have two speeches from South Africa, and we're gonna start from Miss Almas. Can you start? Thank you.
Thank you. Young people from all over South Africa have debated and collaborated to craft South Africa's first ever youth climate action policy, which we call the YCAP. Our goal is that the YCAP will serve as a framework to inspire youth-led action and further serve as a guide for youth, civil society, and business and government to reshape our country into a climate just and resilient society. Our recommendations are guided by our experiences living in an unequal and unsustainable world, but led by a vision of what a reshaped future can be. My job, part of the YCAP, was to lead the high schools of South Africa in drafting our policy. Today, I'm going to speak about the campaigns we led and lessons we learned whilst engaging with the South African youth in the lead up to COP26. South Africa's blue economy is often neglected by our government, but climate change has reached the point where we, the youth, cannot stand by anymore. In December 2021, Shell planned to conduct a seismic survey on South Africa's coastline, which would have devastated the health of fish, wildlife, and the people who live and feed off the coast. The youth of South Africa, along with local subsistence fishermen, protested against Shell and managed to halt the seismic blasting. But the battle isn't over. South Africa is prone to being manipulated by foreign countries and corporations, and it's crucial that we come together as the global youth to ensure Africa isn't used as a guinea pig for bad climate policies, because we're all going to be affected by climate change. But the issues faced by affluent youth are different to the issues faced by underprivileged youth. For example, affluent youth want to implement no plastics campaigns, whilst the more underprivileged youth also don't want to pollute the environment, but they are more interested in issues such as food security, because they use plastic bags as school bags. Plastic is not only single use for them, because they've created a circular economy in their communities. The science may show that plastic is only bad, but if we don't listen to people's stories, we will never know of the people that are scavenging plastic and making something good out of it. If we want to implement policy, it's our job to see these needs and the intersectionality of those needs. If we don't welcome the submissions of stories and lived experiences into the political landscape, it will be difficult for us to achieve a just green transition. During April this year, our coastal city Durban in South Africa experienced major flooding, and President Ramaphosa declared a state of emergency in the KZN province. Climate change was the main cause of the floods, which left hundreds dead and thousands displaced. Today, there's still raw sewage in the Durban beaches because of the flooding. Despite billions of funds from countries like COP26, South Africa's cities are still not climate resilient. I'm of the opinion that this is a symptom of a system change that needs to occur, where sustainability is at the top of the agenda. We must recognize the non-neutrality of climate impacts on vulnerable communities so that they don't become shock absorbers for climate change. No one can be left behind. After engaging with my peers from all over South Africa whilst drafting the YCAP, I've learned that we don't need new ideas to solve climate change. We must look back to our heritage of living in balance with our environment and uplift indigenous solutions. To solve climate change, we need a culture change. Thank you.
Thank you for the speech, Ms. Almas. So now we're going to move to a speech from Ms. Beatrice. Can you start, please?
Good morning, everyone. Konnichiwa. My name is Beatrice Wharton-Hood, and I'm from South Africa, studying engineering at Trinity College Dublin. And I will be speaking about ocean sustainability. The ocean is one of the most important elements of our natural environment. It is not only the body of life for multiple ecosystems and animals, but it is also an essential component to support human life. However, as we are all well aware, the ocean is currently in danger as a result of climate change and human-caused pollution. We've all seen the devastating impacts of climate change and unsustainable systems of our ocean, whether it is by looking at the Great Pacific Garbage Patch, countless turtles and marine life dying as a result of plastic ingestion, the presence of microplastics and the impact on the ocean's environment, overfishing, or ecosystems such as the Great Barrier Reef being bleached by rising sea temperatures. The ocean is something we all need to protect and cherish. Thus, we need to approach ocean sustainability from two main perspectives. The first is creating a sustainable and circular fishing industry across the globe. Currently, issues such as overfishing are negatively impacting our ocean's biodiversity. According to the United Nations Food and Agricultural Organization, roughly 31.4% of fish stocks are being either fished to capacity or overfished. Our current model is not only creating unnecessary amounts of food wastage, which negatively impact our greenhouse emissions, but it is creating further imbalances within our ecosystems and thus further contributing to the negative impacts of climate change. Therefore, we as the Republic of South Africa and Japan need to create strict policies and law enforcement to reduce the impact of overfishing, whilst maintaining job security and economic growth. The second aspect is pollution. The ocean is directly impacted by air and waste pollution. The ocean acts as one of our natural carbon sinks. However, as the amount of carbon dioxide and greenhouse gases released into the air increases, the acidity of the ocean water and seawater increases, thus making the water toxic for all marine life and resulting in further biodiversity devastation. In addition to this, microplastics and sewage wastage create a facade of food sources for marine life. resulting in the ingestion of these harmful materials and thus negatively impacting the health of our ecosystems as well as human beings. This calls for a greater emphasis on safe recycling and waste disposal, a solution that generations such as mine, Generation Z, will have to create. In a world that is so easily connected such as ours, we have a window of opportunity to collaborate and solve issues such as these. The power of different perspectives and experiences is what will help us create innovative, sustainable, and creative ideas to eradicate issues such as climate change. I believe that the use of online or in-person conferences comprising of Japanese and South African students will start these necessary conversations and will help us inspire our nations and generations to tackle issues such as ocean sustainability. This could possibly look like including South African students in the activities and principles of the IHRP, and possibly expanding its participation to the whole South African education system and its student body. We have reached a moment where action can no longer be just a discussion or an idea, but something we do on a regular basis. Without action, we will have no ocean to protect, and thus we will have no planet to protect. I believe that the 3 R's that I previously mentioned of reuse, reduce, and recycle need to be expanded to a five-step cycle, which include the addition of educate and empower. These 5 steps will allow us to take action against climate change and pollution, whilst encouraging us to learn and speak more about environmental issues, as well as continuously thinking of new solutions. This cycle will provide the platform for us as Japan, the Republic of South Africa, and our global society to come together and strengthen the fight against pollution and climate change. It will allow us to protect those most vulnerable from the impacts of climate change and human-caused pollution, as well as create a shared understanding about our experiences. Thank you once again for this opportunity to be part of this discussion this morning. Arigato gozaimasu.
Thank you for the wonderful speech, and thank you all the speakers for the wonderful speeches. That was so thought-provoking. And now we're gonna move to the next session, which is keynote lecture. And now we're gonna invite a speaker, and I'm gonna introduce the speaker in Japanese. 国連工業開発機関環境部産業効率部産業開発専門官としてアフリカ諸国の産業界連携を図りながら海洋プラスチックごみ問題対策に取り組まれております。本日は日本と南アフリカの2カ国協力下で実施している代替プラスチック導入の可能性に向けたフィージビリティスタディから環境対策で見えてきたことについてご講演いただきます。それではウィーンからさん、どうぞよろしくお願いします。
どうぞよろしくお願いします。Since everybody is doing it in English, probably it's better to do it in English, or I prepared in Japanese, but either way works. Thank you. So my name is Nahomi Nishio. I'm working at Department of Environment in UNIDO, which is headquartered in Vienna, Austria. Today, I'm going to introduce what we are doing in South Africa in terms of the counter measure to the marine plastic pollution. At the same time, since we have all these young scientists in the panels, I would like to also think about how sustainability to the global environment can be solved together. So UNIDO, probably you're not familiar with what we are doing. UNIDO is United Nations Industrial Development Organization. So we are the special agency of the United Nations systems that promote inclusive and sustainable industrial development for creating shared prosperity, advancing competitiveness, and meanwhile safeguarding the environment. Because that the climate change, biodiversity loss, pollution, this is the three global crisis, and then industry owes to this most of the cause. So what we are doing is to promote sustainable production or manufacturing, not to harm the environment, through the circular economy. Probably circular economy right now is a kind of buzzword, so I just skip this kind of part. But I would like to say circular economy is not just promoting recycling. Circular economy, of course, recycling is the one of the items, elements that is very important, but this is more for production side, manufacturing side, to take the responsibility not to produce unsustainable product that goes to waste after use. This is more like a product design. The producer has to think about product design to make it more sustainable, so then it continues the value, so that it doesn't go to retain the values, not going to the waste only one time. So this is a kind of really needs to have shift mind setting, and then also like needs to have a partnerships among the value chains, because it cannot achieve only one company. It has to be move the society to achieve this. So today we are talking about marine plastics. So what we do is to promote the circular economy practices, even for that the single-use plastic product. This is because that the marine plastic issues coming from the land side. No, the people uses the single-use plastics, and then after that, it was mismanaged. That's why it occurs like this. So what we do is we work with the production side mostly, but for example, like no packaging, it's just I think many countries already have this banned plastic bags, and then also preparing that alternative products and materials, or even the service, or even that the new business model, like we use smaller or better product design, and or even monolayer or monomaterial that makes easier for the recycling. And then, of course, not only that producers or industry, the government has to has that policy to promote that. And then, of course, the technological innovation is very important. So in the South Africa, it's the South Africa is what's said. It is said that the South Africa is the third country that produces the plastic litter into the ocean among the African countries, and the 11th in the global. So what we do is UNIDO works with the Council for Scientific and Industry Research. So our approach is more for the scientific approach to the alternative materials, because we need to make sure that it is environmentally sustainable, even if we produce the alternatives. So what CSIR may produce is the taking agriculture waste or food waste. In this case, it was a bagasse. Bagasse was the sugarcane residues. So it's usually goes into the waste, or it could be bagasse can be also make a paper. But in this case, we are trying to mix with biodegradable polymers, because these biodegradable polymers biodegrade even within the ocean environment. So, but this is very expensive, so then it cannot be so easily disseminated. But by mixing the agriculture waste, the waste component composition of the Africa, most of the countries in Africa, organic waste is #1 waste. So, but UNIDO, or maybe what we promote is waste is not the waste, it's a resource. So we are trying to utilize this waste or residues to make something new. So this is the what we have done, and then mixed it, and then made it, and then it's possible to make that product like this as a single-use plastic. No, but what we have to do is to ensure that sustainability, that what we made needs to be biodegraded, so that it doesn't create the new problems or increase the problems that doesn't biodegrade in the environment and causing pollution. So we made first a South Africa's ISO certified testing lab, and then ensuring the sustainability. But also at the same time, not only that, but of course the paper is from the agriculture residues, probably also one of the other alternative materials, and then paper could be recycled. No, so what is important is, like, even we have technology or material or innovation, but still we have to emphasize this. What we still need to have that existing system of recycling industry or collection or sorting and then separation, so that whatever the material it goes, we created, bring into that producer side again. So then we need to ensure that collection system is there. So that's the kind of the difficult part or challenging part, in other words. But so the people thinks the biodegradable plastics might be a solution because it goes biodegrade. So then probably it also contributes to waste reduction, or maybe if we take that the renewable material, then it goes to the CO2 reduction maybe. But is it really safe that to use the agricultural waste into the like a food contact packaging? Like in terms of food safety, is it really makes sense? Or in terms of food and water, I mean the water security, for example, like recycling needs lots of water. Is it really sustainable? Or maybe it's better to just promoting resource efficiency, so that it still creates the waste, but still at least improving the resource efficiency. But how efficient is it? What is the baseline? So then, and then also like even that environmentally sustainable, is it already benefiting for the people or health or society or livelihood? So there are so many things that you need to think about, and then also many stakeholders involved. So ensuring the sustainability is always the challenge. So here I would like to show one video. Probably I have to stop the share now, and then please.
My name is Mulebuhem Francelina Likeno. I am here in dumping site. I am a waste picker from 2005. Before I am a waste picker, I go to be a kitchen girl. When I'm kitchen girl, the money is not enough. When I am a waste picker, I am all right.
The money of the dump, I have so much, too much. I'm going to the child, I'm 4 child, going to the school and fix the food in my house.
I have my house and anything when my children want. My babies go to school and my old babies passed grade 12.
You working in the dump, the money of the dump help so much. Everything I do want the money. I'm collecting anything. I'm working bed, box, white paper, plastic, HD, aluminum can, color coat, everything.
Waste picker help government. We're saving government money because when I am a waste picker, the machinery is not broken easy because we are cleaning and collecting other things when not want in dumping site. I want Mangaung municipality to help us all, to give us the work and give me something to help other people.
In the future, I like the people working together in cooperative.
I want to see other people saw me and work like me. And I saw to my government to take other people to clean South Africa. Ke mme a sebetsang ka thata mme ke mme e mong wa cooperative.
Thank you for the keynote lecture. I think you're muted if you're speaking. Sorry. Yes.
Sorry that I still have one last comment.
Yes.
So like for example, like the people who will be affected most. So the promoting that the or changing the society or promoting the idea to go for the best way, a better way. So what would be the better for that the thinking that what would be the best for everybody is always important. So I think that's called probably the inclusive and then sustainable development. Well, so I think that young people, young scientists could contribute. I see that that your ambitions and then your research is amazing. So I really wish that your contribution to the society would be continue. Thank you.
Thank you again for the wonderful key lecture. And now we're gonna have a Q&A section so that we can clear our mind. So whoever have a questions, could you raise your hand so that we can have a Q&A section? And the questions can be to the speakers that we have, the 7 speakers, the high school students, university student, and the questions can be to the IHLP, which is the non-profit organization, and the questions can be to the lecture as well. So is there anyone who want to ask a question? Okay, so Miss Itagaki.
Hi, my name is Mina Itagaki, and I'm high school student of IHRP, and I want to ask about UNIDO. Now, Miss Naomi, could you answer my question?
Sure.
Okay, thank you. And I think that in Japan, most of the people think that global climate change happened in these years in terms of fall seasonal change or heavy rain. And I want to ask you about that. In South Africa, is there any specific change in terms of climate change?
That's probably better answered by JP-san or South African students. But what I know is because that I also had a climate change adaptation project in South Africa. It goes more dry. So then they have the water scarcity problem. And then at the same time, of course, that the sudden the waterfall pattern it changed. So then recently they had the flooding in the Durban as well. So yes, it is. The global change, global impact is everywhere.
Thank you.
Thank you for the question and answer. Is there anyone else who would like to raise your hand and ask a question about lecture or the speech or the organization, the program? So I believe there's no question, and I'd like to finish the first part of our session. So thank you for everyone who ever give us a wonderful speech and a wonderful lecture and the questions and answers.